Hey, what's going on, guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. Starting off here at the Yellowstone supervolcano Caldera, and then we're going to go look at some seismographs around the world that are showing some mysterious data for unknown reasons here today. And here recently as well, we're starting off looking at the seismographs at the Caldera. You can see a lot of these seismographs, 14 to be exact, are blank and have been blank for several hours until the last 2.5, maybe 3 hours. But for some reason, half of these seismographs were blank today, and then we have some other seismographs that have an excess of earthquake activity. Those are the red vertical lines you see right there. Those represent earthquakes up here at the northeast entrance, Parker Peak, down here at Little West Thumb, and also down here at the far southern edge of the Caldera. Here in the last hour, there's been a couple of earthquake signatures at Flag Ranch. But for unknown reasons, 14 seismographs at the supervolcano Caldera have missing data for at least 20 hours of the last 24 hours. Want to look at some global seismographs right now as I do this video. We're going up to the Aleutian Islands. That would be right up here, this chain of islands, south and west of Alaska. But we're coming over here today looking at a seismograph in this location that has a mysterious signature on it as well. And as you can see here on the seismograph, this is the last 24 hours worth of data. This very sudden, abrupt spike in energy right there, that's not an earthquake. Earthquakes start off slow. This is the primary wave coming through the seismograph being detected by the instrument and then slowly fades out. These abrupt signatures represent some sort of an event that occurred here in the Adak Islands down in the southern Aleutian Islands of Alaska. Not quite sure what we've got going on there, but it had something to do with a volcano or something else. I don't know, guys. If I had to take a guess, I would say there was some sort of volcanic activity up here today. But right now, I don't have any confirmation either way whether or not that was a volcano or not. But that is definitely a mysterious signature on yet another seismograph, like what we just looked at over at the Yellowstone supervolcano Caldera. Scrolling down, looking at some of the other seismographs, you can see there's some tall black signatures on these graphs. These represent earthquakes down in the Guam Mariana Trench region, and the primary waves from those earthquakes were felt all the way around the world. Some of these were in the 5.8 range, some in the 4.7 range. There's been a series of earthquakes down there today, and as you can see as we scroll down through the seismographs and we get into some of the seismographs over here in the United States, and you can see the energy from those earthquakes being detected on seismographs all across the country, up in New Hampshire, New York, Connecticut, Maine, coming over to Minnesota, looking at activity in Ohio, Michigan, Oregon. You guys get the idea. Energy felt all across the country from the very shallow earthquakes out in the Mariana Trench region, looking for possible earthquakes in the United States, and there weren't any large ones today, so more than likely that was energy being detected from the series of earthquakes down here in the Guam region of the Western Pacific Ocean. Kind of unusual because those earthquakes were not necessarily that strong. You can see a couple of 5.8s, and they were shallow, considering we're talking about the Mariana Trench region, which is one of the deepest places in the Pacific Ocean. Right here in this area, I think it gets down around 35,000 feet, somewhere around 7 miles, and those earthquakes were less than 6.0 magnitude, and it took a while for the energy to be detected on the seismographs over here in the U.S. The primary wave traveled for the better part of 40 minutes before it reached the seismographs over here in the U.S., but the primary focus was up here at the Yellowstone supervolcano Caldera. Very unusual activity today with regard to an absence of data, earthquakes, and quite a bit of magma intrusion. Coming over here to the homepage of the website, new photo sent in by Robin H. out of Germany of a triple-decker shelf cloud spotted above Germany a few days ago. Looking at the Schumann resonance, all quiet in the last 24 hours, considering in the last 48 hours there was a couple of spikes that were on a 24-hour cycle. Not today. That cycle did not repeat itself again today. Looking at the power outage situation over here at poweroutage.us, we're looking at 5 states experiencing widespread power outages. That is a result, again, of extreme weather moving through the southeastern United States and over here in Oklahoma, parts of Texas, looking at power outages. Right now, as I do this video, So again, 5 states, anywhere from 18,000 to 11,000 customers. Looking at the sun, the GOES X-ray flux, a long-duration M-class solar flare that occurred in the last 6 hours. Here's a look at the long-duration solar flare, and that does have a Earth-directed component to it. So look for an increase in solar activity as we move forward here in the next 48 hours. You can see in the last 24 hours, there were a series of geomagnetic storms lasting the better part of 10, maybe 12 hours. That has quieted down considerably. There are no more geomagnetic storms ongoing, and more than likely, some of that energy will be headed towards planet Earth. Coming over here to the Lake Mead water database, yet another all-time record low coming in at 1,042.35. The outflow was quite exceptional this time, looking at 16.4. That's the largest outflow reading in the last 2 weeks. So it did drop down to 1,042.35. That is yet another all-time record low. If you guys have any photos you'd like to share, you can send those to reports at MrMBB333.com. Thanks for watching. Have a super day and be safe out there.